Hi, good day to you. We're going to do our Unit 1 practice exam and take a look at what you need to be doing in order to pass that particular test. So here's our answers to those first few vocab questions. These ones are all pretty easy. I've had some kids tell me before that the distributive property, they could tell what that one was because it looked like you're actually doing something. You're taking the A and you're multiplying it. So you're actually doing some math, doing something distributive. I don't know. Whatever you need to do to remember. Commutative property is when the two things are just trading places. And your associative property is when this guy is changing who it is associating with. So B right here is in parentheses with C. Now B is in parentheses with A. So B can't decide who it wants to associate with. So it goes from C and dumps C and becomes partnered up with A there. So that's our associative property. And those are just remember them. They should be easy. Alright, here. We look at this. My first thing you should be thinking about the fact that that is negative. Negative mean that it's an integer, and there's only one choice here with integer in it. Rational, everything that can be a fraction is rational, and it's all going to have real. So real doesn't really help us, but here it's a fraction. That means it is a ratio, which means rational and real. It's definitely not a whole number, and it's not an integer, because integers are whole numbers, just positives and negatives. Alright, start doing some work now. We're going to take these things and plug them in. So everywhere we see an X, we are going to plug in an 8. And then everywhere that we see a Y, we are going to plug in a 4. A lot of times kids only plug in one spot. You got to plug it into all of the spots. So in this case, we're going to get 15 times 8 minus 12 times 4. All over, plug in the 8 down here on the bottom, 8 plus 7. Again, I like plugging things in inside those parentheses up here to make sure that we're getting our signs straight. We know we're multiplying. So we're going to get to our second step here. 15 times 8 is 120, 12 times 4 is 48, over, add those up is 15, and then do our subtraction. And do our subtraction, get the 72 over the 15, divide them both by 3. And get our 24 over 5 for our answer there. Same type of problem here. We're going to take these two, plug them in their two spots. What kids tend to do is they tend to take the first number here and plug it into the first spot. But that first spot is a Y, it's not the X. So that's why my 7 goes in the first spot. The 5's going in for the X on the back spot. We're doing that just to see if you guys are going to make that mistake. 25 divided by 5 is 5 and gives us our 40. Alright, again, same thing, we're plugging in. We want to make sure that we get the right things in there for A and B. So when I plug those things in, number one, I want to write my fraction this way, not this way. It gets confusing. We start losing what's in the front, what's in the back, what's on top, what's on bottom. And we also want to make sure we plug in with parentheses. Otherwise, this part here starts looking like you're subtracting instead of multiplying. And we do not want to make that mistake. So 2 times a half is our 1. Negative times negative makes positive 12 there. So we got negative 3 times 13 makes our negative 39. Easy, as long as you're plugging in things properly. Here's just our distributive property. We're going to take that 4 and multiply both of those. Get our 12m plus 24. This one is where they're trying to get you. It's a negative 3, so we want to make sure we take that negative and multiply both of those and get negative 15m and then minus 9. The most common mistake here is going to be that one right there, and we're going to end up with a positive 9 here. Do not be that kid doing that. Alright, so let's put our things together. Positive 12m, negative 15, that's going to make a negative 3m. Positive 24 minus 9 is going to be plus 15, and there goes our answer. Alright, this guy, we got all kinds of things we can do. First is going to be to collect like terms on that side. 6 and 2 make 8x plus our 2 equals 3x. From here, there's lots of different ways you can go about solving. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, and then subtract 3x from both sides at the same time, because that makes me feel better. 8 minus 3 is going to leave us with 5x over here. That cancels, and minus 2 is left on this side, which is why when we divide by our 5, we get x equals negative 2/5 right there. Here, simple. This should be your easiest question on here. We got 5r equals, what is that, 46? Oh, 45, crap, my fault. Divide that by 5, and r equals 9. Yeah, I never promised to be good at all this stuff. Alright, this guy, our fun time. We got the two fractions all going on here. So what we want to do is we want to find our common, least common multiple here for 3, 2, and 6. The number they all have in common is 6 because 3 and 2 can both multiply to make it. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply everybody by 6. 6 divided by 3 makes 2. 2 times 1 means I've got a 2 there. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 times 1 makes 3x. 6 divided by 6 goes away and just leaves our 19. So we take the 6, which is our common multiple, we throw in and multiply by all of them, cancel out with our bottom on all three cases, and then you're just left with your stuff on top. Makes it easy to solve on out. What is that? 17. So x equals 17/3 right there. Alright, these guys, they look scary. All we got to do is circle what they want us to solve for. That's the r. So if I got d equals rt, I circle my r. This is a multiply. So I need my t to be opposite. The opposite of multiply is divide. There's only one answer choice up here with t on the bottom that's doing a division. So A is my answer. We're looking for opposites. Here we're solving for C. I need to find the opposite of the m and the opposite of the power of 2. Opposite of m means divide by m. I got that right here and right here. The opposite of a square is a square root. So this one ain't it. We got my square root right here. I got my divide by m. A is my answer. It's got the opposite of everything that is not what we're solving for, which was C. Oh goodness, this is a mess. Alright, so first thing I want to do is I want to collect my like terms, and I'll probably take care of my distribution right here. So I got my distribution. I collected these two together to get my x. Now from here we want to make sure we're solving for y. So I'm going to want to move my y's and get them by themselves. So I'm going to add 2y here. Now since I'm solving for y, I know I need to get rid of this x, so I'm going to just subtract x as well and get it out the way. So this is gone, 2y plus 1y makes 3y's right here. That's going to make 2x. Still here with the 15, so we're going to rewrite it there. And then last thing we need to do is just divide by 3. And it looks like all our answer choices have it all split up, so I'm going to split these up too. 2 over 3 isn't going to simplify. This is going to simplify to a 5. And that's why C is going to be our answer. We got the 2/3 x there, and 15 over 3 makes the 5. Absolute value. This one, absolute value is all by itself, so I'm going to flip and put the -6 on this side. -6 equals 3x plus 2 equals my positive 6. Since this is alone, that's why I can throw both of these on these sides. And then we can solve away. Subtract my 2 everywhere, divide by 3, and we get these two ugly answers. Easy, easy. This one, we want to make sure that we are not going to just go and flip the -15 over there. We have got to subtract 7 first. Get my 2x plus 9 equals, in this case, 8. So I'm going to get my -8 over on this side. And do our solving steps. We get our -17/2 and -1/2. For A to be our answer. Here, inequality, we don't need to worry about it at first, we just need to solve. I'm going to move my smaller x, which happens to be the -12. Get it over here, that leaves me with an x minus 8 bigger than 4. Then I'm going to add my 8, so we got x is bigger than 12. So now if x is bigger than 12, the smallest it can be is 12. So we want that written first. There is no or equal to sign underneath, so that's why it is a parentheses. And if x is bigger than 12, it's going out to infinity, so we've got our positive infinity over here with the parentheses as well. And that is our symbolic or notation for that. Here, first thing I notice, both of these are or equal to, right? So don't be the kid picking these over here that don't have the same symbols. I don't know why we do that, but we do. Solving, we're going to do those quick, easy steps. And add 5 to all three parts, divide by the other 5. We got 2 less than equal to x, less than equal to 6. Got our answer there. Okay, this one, scary looking because we've got these 2 ugly numbers here. We do not need to use those particular numbers. We just need to estimate. $24.95. If I was doing this, I would just say that's about $25. So I'm going to use 25. 39 cents per mile, that's about 40. So I'm going to go with 40 cents per mile. It's going to make things a whole lot easier. Alright, so we got $25 per day. How many days? 5. So 25 times 5 is going to get me 125. We only have 200 to spend, so 200 minus 125 is leaving with $75 left. That's how much we have to spend per mile. It's asking us how many miles can we drive. So which one of these times 40 cents is going to make 75? Well, I don't know. If you want to, you can take these and check them out and try them. And take 30 times 40 cents. Well, that's not going to make it up to $75. So this one and this one are out because they're way too small. We only got these 2 choices left. So if I do 192 times 0.4, 2 times 4 makes 8, and multiply it on out. 76.8 is what we're going to get, dropping my decimal down. Hey, that's pretty darn close to 75, so that is our answer. Because remember, we did estimate that before. This is going to end up way too big. This guy, we just need to find our model. The number that says per hour, per whatever, that's our multiply number. So we need to make sure that 80 is our multiply number. And then, are we going to add $100 to our fees, or are we going to subtract it? You find the place where you can go, and they are going to subtract the book fee from what you have to pay them, and I will go there. They are going to add the fee to your bill, and so it's going to find the plus sign. Your per number goes multiply, the other number is your addition number. Alright, open-ended, just solving away. So as we go through our solving steps here, we're going to do our distribution, get the 18 and the 6, make sure that negative sign follows with you. Add our 6, divide by the 18. If you get to this part, you're getting most of your points. You're probably getting 2 out of 3. But we do want to simplify that. I divided by 2 and then divided by 3. You could have divided both of those by 6 and got to the same place of 5/3. Do not be the kid that tries to write 1.6 with the repeating sign on there. Don't put it in your calculator. Just leave the fraction. You don't want to do more work to make your problem less correct. Here we're putting our like terms together. The plus m and the minus 5 makes minus 4m's. Everybody else we're just putting together. We got a plus 3, a minus 6, and a minus 2. Please take your time with that. This gives us minus 3, and minus 2 makes minus 5 total. Through the years, so many kids have missed this because they just don't add and subtract right, and they get that back number wrong. Don't be that kid. Do it right. Alright, here we got an OR graph. We need to solve both of these independently. So I'm going to take and solve this one here and solve this guy over on the other side. So as we go through solving, the one on the left is pretty easy. I added 4 over, subtracted my 2x, divided by 4. So x is less than 1. Nothing big there. Big thing here is we got dividing by a negative number. So you want to make sure that when we do that, that symbol flips over. We also got to take care on the negative divided by negative here becomes positive. Lots of little things we can do wrong. So now we want to graph this. I'm going to put 0 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just mark them off so you got numbers that matter to you. At my 1, it's going to be a parentheses because there is no line underneath. and it is pointing to the left, so my parenthesis is going to be here, and I'm going to shade in this part. On the right, this one has the line underneath, that means includes, so I'm going to put a bracket at the 3, and then it's bigger than, so it's going off this way forever. And that's your test. Please, please, please do well, make some good choices on it. I hope you're going to do great, and take